This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, head over to bigheadsmedia.com. Hi there, folks. Welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast for the true fanatics. It's a weekly dive in the latest in TV news and reviews. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and annoying bee, Stairmaster. Oh, bother. Oh, golly, this pesky bee. Oh no, I've set a house on fire. I've committed a genocide trying to kill this bee?
Bother. I'm off the gardener.
I did read the Wikipedia page for Man vs. Bee, and it turns out in the last episode he commits 9/11?
Wait, so this is a period piece?
Yeah, this is actually set
but
in
he had a
2000.
smartphone.
That's right. Well, he commits 9/11 too.
Well, maybe he falls down a hole into the year 2001. Maybe he finds a magic cupboard. Maybe it's like that Stephen King novel.
I didn't read the rest of. I just read the last episode, and it did say he commits 9/11, and that was what it said. But
No
I'm
details
assuming
were
there's
given.
some sort of time travel involved of some sort.
Yeah, that would make the most sense.
But it's like the bee is on one of the towers, and he's like, "I gotta get on this plane." And the bee escapes, of course.
So wait, then he would have to go get on the plane, fly it over from Boston or wherever it took off. That would take several hours.
He's chasing the bee in the plane, and then it lands on the Twin Towers.
Okay.
And he's
and
like,
Spider-Man's too slow to stop him?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a wild show. Anyway, welcome to this episode of TV Tuners. Keo is on assignment. Hunting down the bee.
He said he's going on a tour of all the countries without extradition treaties.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, but he said it's important info for the CIA. We'll see about that. Anyway, it's just me and Stair, so we decided instead of giving you a bonus episode, we're going to go ahead and talk about this show that everyone's clamoring for us to discuss.
Quibi's latest hit, Man vs. Bee.
That's right. This pretty much could have been a Quibi show, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of the episodes were 10 minutes long.
It's
plus
true.
Credits.
If you had told me this was a failed Quibi programming, I would have believed.
Especially the failed part.
Yes.
Wow.
But as always, of course, this is another rousing edition of Mainline TV Tuners. And as always, I have to mention that if you're listening to this and you got any quips, comments, questions, foresights, otherwise, well, you could send those to us and we'll read them aloud on the podcast. That's right. All you got to do is send them to our email address, tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. What's that email, Stairmaster?
tvtunerspodcast@hotmail.com.
That's right. Yeah, you can be like Geo, who sent us this email. Now that's a long hot dog. Hey guys, what's the longest time you've ever taken to eat a hot dog? Okay, Geo.
Well, I mean, have you ever had a really juicy hot dog that's constantly spurting in your mouth?
Boy,
it's also very hot, so it's boiling.
Yeah, you have to wait a little bit for some hot dogs.
Yeah.
This is the part of the. I think this is We're past in total 200 episodes, I think. Like if you count bonus episodes and stuff. And I think this is the moment where I reveal that I am actually a ridiculously fast eater.
You're what's his name? The hot.
Oh yeah,
you're just like constantly shaking
guy.
your stomach side to side while you're eating, so it goes down faster.
I'm honestly not sure what it is about me that makes me eat at such a high speed.
Fear.
Maybe fear that the food will disappear.
Yeah, you got genetic memory of the 30 Years' War.
But unless I'm like at a restaurant with other people where I'm like talking a fair amount and also not hungry, like super hungry, I will devour all of my food. So I feel like for me, the longest time I've ever eaten a hot dog is like, I don't know, 2 minutes tops.
Wow. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
What do you do if like there's more bun at the end than hot dog? Do you just...
I just eat it.
Oh, yeah. But do you begrudge
I guess this is... Yeah, I begrudgingly eat it. I guess this is also the part where I mentioned that I'm not huge on hot dogs either.
What's the matter?
I've eaten hot dogs fine, but like, I don't know, there is something about the casing of a hot dog that does... like the snap of a casing is just a very unnatural feeling to me. Which I guess is maybe that's the thrill of a hot dog. What's the thrill of a hot dog?
Knowing that it has very cursed origins while you're eating it.
Yeah, that's true. That might be the other reason why I'm not super into them. But then again, I eat a lot of cursed things. Yeah. Like these cursed gems that are in my stomach.
Basically all meat in America is cursed at this point with the FDA regulations being stripped.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. All meat is cursed at this point. Most water is cursed.
Yeah, cursed earth.
Yeah.
General.
It's a good time. So what's the longest time you've ever taken to eat a hot dog?
Probably 90 seconds.
Oh, okay. So you're a faster eater than me, actually.
I'm a hungry boy when I eat.
That's the thing, is like usually I am very hungry. I don't only eat once a day, but...
Well, yeah, because you didn't take as much ADHD meds as I did. So you have a functioning appetite.
Although, arguably, I needed them.
I did too, but I stopped.
Yeah. And now look at us. We're semi-successful podcasters. Emphasis on semi.
Semi part I agree with.
Yeah, we're semi-automatic podcasters. In that most of what we say in this show is just lines that we've said from other things.
Oh! Hey, don't give away the secrets here, Swanson.
Most of this is actually pre-recorded.
Yeah.
We rarely talk to each other.
You're really good at turning me on, Swanson.
Nice hot dogs there, master. Yeah, so I hope we answered your question, Gio. Do we want to do a quick round of what Google tells me I should my replies should be, the Gio?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously the question was, what's the longest time you ever taken to eat a hot dog? The first response, maybe the best one. I know.
How many exclamation marks?
Just one.
Okay.
The second one, probably the one that works the best. What? And the last one that makes it seem like you didn't read the email at all. Haha, thanks.
I'm gonna go with haha, thanks.
Yeah, let me send that real quick. And sent. Anyway, thanks for that email, Gio. And you can be like Gio, of course. All you gotta do is send an email, tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. Anyway, that's not the only way you can find us, of course, or talk to us, interact with us. We're on Twitter, the hell site. You can go over to Twitter, and if you're perusing on it, you can go over to @tvtuners, and you'll see us with all of our great TV content. Curated for your pleasure. And while we're there, every now and again, we like to look for a tweet that signifies what Twitter's all about. It's a tweet of the week, some might say. And Stare,
Yes.
we have a doozy this week.
I didn't say that, but this tweet of the week comes from... I don't know how to pronounce this. X ain't Joe Me. At Joe Me Joseph, who writes, Mr. Bean has taught us that sitting alone and enjoying your own company is better than being surrounded by fake people. Words, much to think about.
Yeah, it is much to think about, really. So, when did Mr. Bean teach us this lesson? Because he does interact with other people.
It usually goes poorly for him.
That's true. I guess, yeah, because he does. I guess he would eventually end up sitting alone.
But even then, there are plenty of episodes where he's alone and he's also in trouble.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be living a good existence.
Someone needs to put him out of his misery.
Yeah. I think they should have Man versus Bean. And it's Rowan Atkinson. It's like Gemini Man.
Oh my god.
Where Rowan Atkinson fights another version of Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
Like
his
it's
own
Mr.
characters
Bean.
come to life and he's questioning his sanity.
Yeah. Yeah, make it like his own characters come to life. Mr. Bean is just trying to and Mr. Bean isn't even trying to kill him. He's trying to kill Mr. Bean, and then I don't know what happens in Gemini Man. Do they team up or something?
I don't know either.
I'm gonna assume that's probably what happens.
12 people saw it.
Yeah, I think that is actually the total box office gross for that movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm picturing you take... So that one was young Will Smith and then regular nowadays Will Smith. And this is just regular Rowan Atkinson and then him as Mr. Bean back in the day.
Yeah, with the CGI de-aging.
Yeah.
And we got a stuntman. Body double.
Yeah, we
don't want an Irishman situation here.
That's right. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we want it to look as real as possible.
Yeah, when he's beating up the grocery store clerk.
Yeah, which is probably one of the rare moments in the film that takes me out of it completely.
I think we'll get Jason Statham to do the motion capping for that sequence.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd agree to that. To not being on screen, but doing work anyway.
Oh, well, he'll be doing the choreography as well.
Okay. Yeah. I'll do it, but only if I'm doing the choreography.
No, he'll do it out of love for Mr. Bean.
It's true. All British
I would love to
Mr.
pay
Bean.
homage to such a great character.
Mr. Bean reboot, but it's Jason Statham.
And he's got a little toupee on.
Yeah. That'd be good.
That'd be funny if it's a toupee, it falls off, and he's got to do some Mr. Bean stuff to get it back.
Yeah, he's trying to glue it onto his head. Like
a bird flies off with it. He's like, whoa.
Yeah, he's got to climb up a tree to get to it.
You gotta climb up a power pole.
Yeah.
Crink.
Yeah. And he gets electrocuted, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to tune in on this. Mr. Bean did teach us a lot, including this thing that this guy said.
More he taught us what not to do, but sure, why not? I'll tune in as well. The biggest lesson Mr. Bean has taught us is to watch out where you park.
It's true, yeah. Yeah, I think the biggest lesson Mr. Bean has taught me personally is that to watch out for people who mutter to themselves and never speak aloud. People who talk like they're Sims characters. That would be funny if that was how he actually spoke. Anyway, thank you for that tweet. Congratulations. You're featured on the podcast. Anyway.
Oh, I forgot to mention 8 other people tweeted that exact thing. Same thing.
Oh. like the word for word?
Yes.
So it's a bot thing?
I don't know, but I also saw a lot of Mr. Bean COVID truther memes.
Huh.
Like, funny how we can't find a medicine for a disease that's killed by soap and hand washing. And it's Mr. Bean going, huh?
Well, that is the appropriate response to that meme, I suppose.
Yeah.
To that wording is, But listen, we don't need to dissect why that's wrong.
Yeah.
I think people can figure it out.
I think the people who would be misled by that information are dead by now.
One could hope, but it's probably sadly not the case.
Yeah. More than you'd think, less than you'd hope.
Exactly. So yeah, thank you for that tweet. And there's but one last thing before we get into our news and whatnot, Stare. What'd you watch? Anything fun, interesting?
Oh, I watched a documental on Amazon.
That's what it's called?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They get 10 Japanese comedians into a room. They all have to pay 1 million yen to get in. And whoever laughs gets removed, and the last man standing gets the 10 million yen. There are no other rules.
So this is like a
battle royale of comedians.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like comedian battle royale or comedian Hunger Games.
Yeah.
So is it good?
It was funny.
All right. I mean, that's
they
what
did
you
bully
want,
the
right?
black guy into pulling on his dick, though. That wasn't cool.
Oh. That seems very uncool.
I mean, they all showed their asses before that.
Yeah, but only one guy showed his dick.
Well, yeah.
And it was the black man. So wait, there's only one black guy?
Well, yeah, it's all Japanese comedians.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So there's not that many black comedians in Japan.
Yeah, that's fair.
His name is Anthony.
Anything else? Was that a tune-in?
Yeah, I guess that's a tune-in. I don't know if I'll watch season 2, though.
Okay.
I can't... Let me check. I watched Ghost in the Shell 2.
Oh, the film?
Yes, the only film to be nominated, the only anime film to be nominated for Best Picture at the Cannes Film Festival.
Oh, damn! Really, that's the only anime film?
Yeah,
I would figure something like Perfect Blue or something would have been nominated.
No. What was that film that ripped off Perfect Blue?
Oh,
by Aronofsky, I think.
Yeah,
that probably got it. It was like Black Swan or something.
I think Black Swan has like a very, very similar plot to Perfect Blue.
Yeah. And the director cited Perfect Blue. And the director of Perfect Blue was like, fuck you.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah.
So how does the second one hold up?
It's absolutely goated.
Goated with the sauce?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it follows crazy-ass white boy Bateau trying to uncover a mystery where all these sex robots start killing people.
Oh, hate to see that happen. I hate when the sex worker robots rise up.
Yeah, and start rending people's flesh from their bones with their bare hands.
Yeah.
And it becomes an examination of what it means to be human and humanity's tendency to create replicas of itself, whether it be robots or dolls, or even seeing themselves in the eyes of their pets and whatnot.
Dang. That sounds pretty cool.
And also he's got a big machine gun.
So that's a tune-in.
That's a tune-in.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I found out what we were discussing earlier. Pretty much exactly what we said. Darren Aronofsky there were similarities in Black Swan to Perfect Blue. Also, apparently, Requiem for a Dream has a pretty much shot-for-shot remake of a scene from Perfect Blue.
That's okay, because that's alright. That's like a homage.
Yeah, I guess. I guess eventually at some point, Aronofsky actually met with the director. Satoshi Kon.
Yeah, but I heard that Satoshi Kon was not very pleased about the whole thing and kind of just patronized him. Which is polite on the internet.
That's probably true. Anyway, Perfect Blue, better than Black Swan. And I say that having not watched Black Swan.
I don't think anyone's going to dispute that.
Yeah. Anything else?
No. Not worth talking about.
Okay. Let's see. I got a good bit to talk about here.
You got a bit? You got a bit you want to do on the show?
Yeah, yeah, and I always announce it right before I do it, too. I always say, like, hey, listen, here's a bit. Get ready for it. I'll save the thing I want to talk about the most for last, I guess, and I'll start with the thing I don't have a lot to say about other than it's good. What We Do in the Shadows has returned for its 4th season. It's still good. It's still very funny.
I still need to watch the movie and then the actual series.
The movie is, I think, safe to say, probably the best thing Taika Waititi's ever done.
Yeah, he's kind of going downhill lately.
Yeah, then I heard that new Thor movie's trash.
He's kind of having a meltdown on Twitter, it seems like.
I think he wasn't prepared for people to not like his movie. I've never watched. What was the one he made in between the Thor movies? It was like Hitler.
Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things about that. I never watched it. Anyway, What We Do in the Shadows.
Nobody cares for.
Yeah, that's true. What We Do in the Shadows is still very good, very funny. They just keep finding new ways to make the vampires' lives both hell and funny. This season they're doing a vampire nightclub like Blade. They literally say, like Blade. Like they want blood sprinklers and everything.
Do you think a vampire hunter will show up and ruin everyone's shit?
I think it'd be funny if that was the case, but we'll see. But yeah, it's pretty wild this season. One of the characters has been reborn as a child, and so they've put the main actor's face overimposed on a child's.
That's a good bit.
And it's very funny. It's very good. It's a good show. I heavily tune in. One of the best comedies out there. So then I'll move over to these movies that I watched. I've been watching some movies. I'll start with The Power of the Dog. I finally watched that. Academy Award winner from this year, I think.
What's that about?
It's pretty
again?
good. So Benedict Cumberbatch plays a closeted cowboy who is also a huge piece of shit. Like he's very he suffers from what we call toxic masculinity. And essentially starts like a psychological warfare with a kid that he may be grooming.
Oh, so it's sort of like The Lighthouse.
Yeah, actually, kind of. It was pretty good. I had heard a lot of things about how it was. I'd heard that pretty much the consensus I'd found on Letterboxd among people I follow was it was very visually stunning, but kind of boring as a story, and it is slow. I'm not going to deny that it's not slow, but it is
a slow denier, Swanson.
Yeah, I'm not a slow denier. It is slow, but it is. I think it becomes worth it at the end because there's a sort of twist. The twist is not that he's gay, by the way. That's like Act 1. You find it out about halfway through the movie that this guy and his mentor, whose name is Bronco Henry, which I find hilarious. I think it's supposed to be funny because he says it with such sincerity and no one else really acknowledges this guy's existence, like Bronco Henry. But he keeps saying it like he's a real important figure. He's like, Bronco Henry taught me this. But no, there's a twist at the end of the movie that I think seals the whole deal, makes it a worthwhile experience. Also, Jesse Plemons is in this in a non-creepy role. One of the few non-creepy roles I think I've seen him in.
Does he have sex?
Yes.
Cumberbatch.
Oh, does Benedict Cumberbatch have sex? No.
With him?
No, they're brothers. they don't.
Okay.
They don't get into that. I will say, warning: you can briefly see Benedict Cumberbatch's dick.
All right. Is it bigger than yours?
I did say briefly. You can only
Okay,
can't see for
all
that
right.
much.
Nice parry.
Yeah. I would say I would give it a tune in if you're fine with a slower paced film, because it is still only 2 hours, so it's not like it's not like you're sitting there for 3 hours at a slow paced deal. I'd say give it a whirl. It is a very beautiful film. They're clearly not filming in Montana; they're filming in New Zealand, but I think that fits with what they're trying to do here in terms of like the myth of the West versus actual West.
Yeah. It's like a Jesse
yeah.
James and Robert Ford type deal.
Yeah, because it's set in like the 1920s, so this guy is like a dying breed.
Oh,
of like,
so just like a racist guy in Oklahoma.
pretty much. But yeah, it's an interesting turn for Benedict Cumberbatch because he normally doesn't play someone who's so despicable, just a complete irredeemable human being. Anyway, other than that, I'm continuing to go through the Coen Brothers filmography. I watched what I might call one of their most underrated films.
Fargo.
Yeah, that's right. I think it's an underrated film.
Which one's Miller's Crossing?
So Miller's Crossing is a prohibition tale about two rival gangs and the guy who was caught between them. It's an Italian gang and an Irish gang in the Prohibition era. It's the Coen Brothers' first like period piece. It's also the first movie that they had like a big budget for, so they go like all out. So this guy who's played by Gabriel Byrne is like the right-hand man for an Irish mobster, and the Irish mobster's rival, an Italian gangster, demands the rights to kill a bookie who he believes is messing with his match fixing. Mm-hmm. The bookie is the sister of the guy that the mobster is seeing, or the girl that the mobster is seeing, and so he refuses to kill that man, and it causes a war between the two gangs.
Of course.
There's a bunch of other, obviously, because it's the Coen Brothers, there's a lot of intrigue, and the plot takes a lot of twists and turns and whatnot, but it's really well shot. There's a scene that where this Irish mobster is surviving an assassination attempt, and it's all set to "Oh Danny Boy," and it's like it works in a way that it wouldn't, and maybe by any other filmmaker.
Do you get to see
it's
Dong?
really well shot.
Does anyone show their dick?
No dicks. No dicks.
Oh.
John Turturro, who we all know and love from Adam Sandler movies, and also he was Jesus in The Big Lebowski.
And also he's in Batman. The Batman.
And also, of course, the Batman. Yeah, he plays the bookie, and he gives a terrific performance. There's like a mid sort of I guess mild spoilers for this movie, but there's like a mid twist where this guy, the main character, is supposed to kill the bookie on the orders of the Italian guy, and he doesn't go through with it, and the bookie makes his life hell afterwards. He essentially doesn't go through with it, and then he's like, "Hey, listen, you get out of town." And the bookie's like, "How about instead I blackmail you?"
Oh, that doesn't seem like a good idea at all.
Well, it remains you'll have to watch and see if it's a good idea or not. But it's really good. There's a lot of it's one of those movies where you're not sure, and pretty much a Coen Brothers movie where you're not sure at any moment in time what someone's allegiances are.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I'd say honestly, maybe. I mean, I'm obviously going to go through the rest of their filmography before I'm done, but it might be top 5 Coen Brothers films. You just never hear about it.
Yeah.
And it's sad too, because the reason this movie didn't do super well, I guess, and is kind of underrated, is it opened the same week as Goodfellas.
Oh!
And that's just poor planning. Like, that's just no. Because they're both gangster films, and if you're going to pick a gangster film, you're going to probably pick the one that's by Martin Scorsese, and not by the one by the still unknown weirdo brothers.
And plus, he's Italian.
It's true,
so
he knows
what he's talking about.
Yeah. The Coens are neither Irish nor Italian, I don't think. But yeah, it's a good movie. A lot of references to other mob food movies in it too. The opening scene is pretty much a direct reference to The Godfather, but it's like played for laughs. Good stuff. Tune in. Couldn't tune in enough. And last but not least, I watched Miss Marvel.
Oh, wait, what?
Miss Marvel is the Disney Plus Marvel show. That's what's her name? Kamala Khan. She's the.
So there's a Miss Marvel, but there's also a Captain Marvel.
That's right. She names herself Miss Marvel because she is obsessed with Captain Marvel.
Oh, that makes 0 sense, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, it is also from the comics, but they sort of just shoehorned it into this too. Mainly because it doesn't make sense in like the Marvel movie world, because Captain Marvel is like
never there as the absentee father.
Yeah, she's. I mean, like in terms of what the what the people on the street should know, she's like maybe a figure that they've heard about once. But anyway, it was all right, I guess. I will say, unlike a lot of the Marvel shows that I've seen, it did have its own distinct style to it, so that's nice. It didn't just feel like a regular blah TV show that they the same bland sludge that they sort of hawk out on you. And it was cool that there's this character who they try to tie it into like the experiences of like the Indian and Pakistani people. Like the show is about part of the show's plot is about the partition of India.
Wait, is this a period piece or?
No, it's her family has like a history during the partition of India. And I've been seeing online apparently that it's had a similar effect to when Watchmen talked about the Black Wall Street massacre.
Yeah.
Where no one knew that this event happened because our history books are awful.
What? British history books definitely don't mention it.
Nope. No, they do not. Wonder why. Huh. Oh well, it's probably nothing. It was a fine show. I don't know if I would recommend it, only because I'm at this stage, you've really got to be into Marvel to really be into anything. And like, as much as it tries to do different stuff, it does still end up having to be a Marvel show. So there's of course a superhero battle and all that takes up the last half of the show. Also, they in the comics she's an Inhuman, but obviously they don't want to do that anymore. So they
what's the
make
Inhumans thing coming out?
Never.
Oh, okay.
I think now that they have the rights to the X-Men, they're just going to do mutants, I think.
Yeah.
But they don't make her a mutant, although they hint at it, I think, a little bit. But they say that she's a djinn, which seems maybe not the best idea for your first. I guess maybe it works with like the history of that kind of culture, but I don't know.
I don't know, because those are from like Arabia.
It seems weird to make your first Muslim superhero a djinn in the same way that it seems weird to make your first Asian superhero a kung fu guy.
Except your first Asian superhero is played by a white guy.
Yeah. Wait, is he?
Yeah, Iron
Shang-Chi?
Fist.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Shang-Chi. I was talking about Shang-Chi.
No.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Shang-Chi was Asian, but...
No.
But he is a kung fu guy. That's sort of his whole deal.
Luckily, no one watched Shang-Chi either.
Yeah, true. I certainly didn't. Anyway, I would say, I guess if you really want to watch some Marvel shows, tune in on this. But also, you don't need me to tell you to tune in on this. I would personally tune out.
I will also tune out.
But, it was fine, I guess. I've seen worse. And that's it for me.
Okay, good night.
All right. That's it for the pod, too. Oh, there's a bee in here. So, with all that stare, let's get to the news, huh?
Yeah.
There's some news that must be discussed. And since we're already talking about Disney, sort of, let's keep that train going. One of Disney's latest creations, and by latest I mean at this point it's 4 years old and still going strong, is of course Baby Yoda. Everyone loves Baby Yoda. It's a merchandising
Everyone.
gold mine.
We're asking, where is Baby Yoda?
When Baby Yoda's not on my shelf or in my house, I ask, where's Baby Yoda?
Frankly, I shit myself.
Well,
that happens.
Yeah, whenever there's no Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Well, Joe Dante, director of, among many other things, Gremlins and Gremlins 2, The New Batch.
And Small Soldiers.
It's true. That's right. I forgot about that. He claims that Baby Yoda might have to pay his dues to the adorable little Gremlins creatures. He says that the Mandalorian shamelessly modeled Baby Yoda off Gizmo, the Mogwai, of course, from the movie Gremlins. This is what he actually said here. I think the longevity of the films is really key to this one character, Gizmo, who is essentially like a baby, which brings me, of course, to the subject of Baby Yoda, who is completely stolen and is just out-and-out copied. Shamelessly, I would think. Now, okay, so you know what Baby Yoda looks like, obviously. I don't need to share.
Yeah, I would say he's modeled after Yoda, famous Star Wars character.
And Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, of course, predates Gremlins. I'm pretty sure. Here's Gizmo, who is the only real similarity between the two, of course, is long ears.
I feel like Gizmo is has more agency than Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I mean Gizmo is essentially the main character of Gremlins, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like he also speaks.
A little bit.
Baby Yoda does not. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe this is just like trying to make a headline out of something. Maybe to me, it feels
Baby
like
Yoda is constantly eating things he shouldn't be, like a gremlin.
It's true.
So maybe
Although
he does have a point.
when Baby Yoda does get wet, nothing happens really.
Yeah,
He just sort of is like there.
he's just like ah.
Yeah, he's like annoyed. Also, Gizmo, voiced by Howie Mandel. Baby Yoda, voiced by literally nobody.
Yeah, they just have a Foley artist.
Yeah, they take
Shaking a
sounds
baby.
of babies and put them in for Baby Yoda. They have a whole warehouse full of baby sounds. And babies. They have a baby warehouse.
They call that a daycare, Swanson.
Not the way Disney does it.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, yeah. Joe Dante, not a fan of Baby Yoda, essentially. That's what this boils down to.
I wish him the best of luck with this lawsuit.
Yeah, he should sue. I think he has a case here. It is always, of course, a good idea to sue the biggest and most powerful of companies.
Maybe you can get Elon Musk's lawyers to help him out. They'll probably be in need of a job soon.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm sure he would get on board with that too. We're suing the Disney Corporation.
What?
I don't know. Is that what he sounds
Why
like?
is Arnold here?
Yeah, I'm joining up with Elon Musk today to sue the Disney Corporation. They stole Baby Yoda is a gremlin.
He's just a little guy. He gets into a lot of trouble.
He's a sick little freak, and I'm going to put an end to him today. Anyway, speaking of Schwarzeneggers.
Yeah?
The Boys has a spin-off that's coming out soon, and it's recently revealed its title and some critical cast members.
Oh, yeah.
The Boys spin-off set in the college is titled Gen V.
Oh, I get it.
And per the plot synopsis, is going to be an irreverent R-rated series that explores the lives of hormonal, competitive soups as they put their physical, sexual, and moral boundaries to the test, competing for the best contracts in the best cities. It's part college show, part Hunger Games. So yeah, sounds like something that would be like The Boys.
But who's on it, like, writing-wise?
Two of the writers from the show,
Okay, maybe. Maybe I'll be good.
Among the cast, it seems like it's just a lot of young people. But
yeah, Patrick Schwarzenegger. Of course,
Patrick
is one of them.
Schwarzenegger is among them. Yeah,
he was also in Chris Pratt's The Eternal List.
Oh,
as one
was
of
he
the
good?
soldiers who gets killed in the first episode.
Oh, okay, was he good?
I guess.
Okay, he's not like big and jacked like Arnold, so
no.
Does he sound like Arnold?
Unfortunately, no.
How great would it be if this kid that was definitely born in America sounded like an Austrian man?
I was imagining his wife giving birth and it's like a baby with Arnold's head smoking a cigar coming out.
Great birth. Now smack my ass.
I'm back. Everyone loves a sequel.
Yeah, that'd be good. That's the good shit right there. Anyway, Gen V, I don't know. I'll give it a shot here. It does, I don't know, a show that's focused almost solely on superheroes does not seem like...
Well, I assume there will be a Dean character.
Oh, so the Dean is like who I'm going to root for, I guess?
Yes.
There's going to be a crusty old Dean who they
It'll be the Dean for Community.
Oh, well, then I'm definitely rooting for that guy. Best of luck to him. I hope none of these superheroes rip his heart out. Although, he might be into that, I don't know. I imagine a scene of, like, the Dean from Community, who is the Dean in this school as well, watching, like, a bunch of, like, the superheroes have, like, an orgy or something, and he's like, I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me.
I like the idea that he's scared that watching people have sex might awaken something with him, as opposed to the original scenario, where it's something completely out there and historic.
Yeah, this is just like a somewhat normal
penis
thing.
and vagina, dicks going in holes.
Yeah, classic stuff. Original flavor, some might say.
Sex classic.
Yeah, that's what they should call it, really. I'm picturing now that you said that, like a Republican like senator on the Senate floor being like, "We need to bring back sex classics, bold new flavor."
Trump. You're just talking about Trump's next rally when he announces his presidency run.
We're bringing back. Listen, people, we're bringing back original sex.
Sex too. We hate it, folks. It's no good.
No one wants new sex. We're bringing back sex classic. And, because I personally love it, crystal sex.
Oh, he's got like a little jerk-off crystal pendant.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Let's
you
charge
can figure
up,
out...
folks.
It's all charged up, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah!
Everyone, just non-stop, like, for like a solid minute, just clapping and hooting and hollering.
A bunch of guys try to climb the stage with their own crystals.
They get shot.
And the Secret Service is just stomping them.
Last news item here. A bit more of a serious news item, maybe.
Here's a real laugh fest.
Yeah, we're gonna end on a real funny one.
Killer's map leads to victim's remains.
Maybe. A crew member for Law and Order Organized Crime, former episode of the show, by the way, was recently shot and killed on set during the early morning hours.
Was this during filming, or?
So here's the story. Law and Order Organized Crime was filming in the Brooklyn area.
Building hellhole and Warzone.
Yeah, that's right. Just constant wars going on in the Brooklyn area, just gunfire back and forth all the time. This crew member was a contract worker who was performing set security and parking enforcement. He was apparently sitting in his car where, he would be like, hey, don't go over this way, this is where we're filming. And a guy an unknown individual approached the car, opened the door, and fired into his neck and head.
Oh, so there was probably like a motive here.
I mean, maybe, I guess, but shockingly stare. And this is a shocker to me. The police have not found a motive yet.
So I guess the question is here, did that guy have it coming?
I guess that's true. Maybe that's what the police will eventually tell us.
Yeah.
We've determined that this man did deserve it.
We found
Case
that
closed.
the victim was sort of an ass.
Why is the police officer John Kennedy?
I don't know.
It's a New York
Boston
police officer
is nearby.
from Boston.
Boston's nearby, yeah. It's like Herc
Nearby,
from The Wire.
yeah.
It's got a guy out of town to be a cop.
Who does the press conferences too?
Yeah.
Let me be clear. This guy deserved it.
Let me be clear. That guy was no angel.
We know that a drone strike did occur, and it took out this man among a few other targets.
We did torture some folks.
Yeah. So yeah, the crime is still being located, but obviously this man is deceased.
Rest in
Not
peace.
a great. Yeah, rest in
Hashtag
peace.
pack watch.
It's not a great start to. Okay, I read this line and it did sort of make my hair immediately turn gray. Not a great start to the third season of Organized Crime. It does not feel like it's been 2 years since we watched the premiere of that show.
Time doesn't exist anymore.
It's true. COVID erased time along with a lot of people. So yeah, it not a great start to the show, but hey, I'm sure stuff's going on there. I guess Dennis Leary's on the show now. What the hell?
Oh. He's got nothing better to do.
It's true. It's true. He has nothing better to do. Is Dylan McDermott still on this show?
Good for him.
They finally do something on. They finally do something with him. They catch him.
Oh.
I don't know. Let's see.
I hope he breaks out of prison.
Dylan McDermott was in the first 2 seasons.
Yes, that's why we watched it.
Well, we watched the first. We watched the
Yeah.
first, but I guess at some point he was done, and now they're just solving another crime.
And now that nobody's going to watch this show.
But yeah, when Dylan McDermott's done with, that's it. I'm not gonna watch it. That's for sure.
So could there, what other C-list TV actor could you replace him with? Rob Lowe? What's he doing these days?
Nothing. I don't know. Does Rob Lowe have allegations against him or something? I feel like I'm seeing something like that.
He has a sex tape thing.
Yeah, that was a while ago. I guess that doesn't mean that there wouldn't be allegations.
Oh, he got sued by a nanny for sexual harassment.
Oh, that's no good.
He got
I guess at
dismissed
some
out
point,
of court, though.
Dylan McDermott's character was murdered.
Oh, rest in peace. Hashtag pack watch.
Anyway, yeah, obviously, it's a shame that someone got murdered on set and whatnot, but it is a story, and we covered it here on the pod. With all that out of the way, of course, it's time for us to get down to brass tacks, get down to business. That's all the news.
Time to get down to the beeswax.
That's right, buddy, because we're talking about it. Finally, you've been demanding it. Now it's here. We're talking about Man vs. Bee. Man vs. Bee is a Netflix show.
Very low concept.
Yes, very low concept Netflix show starring Rowan Atkinson as a house sitter named Trevor who finds himself entrenched in an ongoing battle with a bee while lodging amidst an elegant mansion. Man vs. Bee, Rowan Atkinson's return to TV-ish. Stairmaster, did Man vs. Bee keep you a buzz? Or did get you squashed?
Did it sting you?
Yeah, did you get stung by this bee? Or the man?
Well, that would be very weird if I got stung by a man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. In some ways, getting stung by a man could mean a lot of things.
Oh, I guess if you think about it that way. Yeah, we're talking about sex, by the way.
That's right. In case anyone didn't pick up on it yet, our subtle metaphor. So here's what I thought immediately before the bee, as we see the CGI bee, as that's like the intro to this show, is the CGI bee.
We got a framing device. We're in media res at the court trial.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's a little Better Call Saul sort of deal because we're in the present for this first part.
Yeah, he's being sentenced.
It cuts and then we get the flashbacks, essentially, yeah. This man is being...
Yeah, but the thing, it's weird because he's sentenced and labeled guilty by the judge, and then he's like, well, there was this bee.
Yeah,
why wouldn't you say that at the start of the trial?
Why is he making a closing argument after... Why is he, making a closing statement after being sentenced?
Yeah, it's not going to help him anymore.
Yeah, that's true. They have lawyers in Britain, right? Why is he the one talking?
I figured it must be easy to represent yourself in court.
I mean, it's easy to represent yourself in court here.
That maybe he was just too shy to talk during the actual court trial. They were like, do you have anything to say for yourself? Like,
and he was just like... Yeah. Yeah, so we get that, and then, it cuts to... Well, we also get some, quick cuts of, the damage that he causes, I guess, throughout the show.
Yeah, and I'm like, why do you gotta show us this? This episode's only 20 minutes long.
Yeah, you don't need to... Don't ruin it for me. Now I know that at some point he uses a flamethrower.
Yeah, save that. No confidence. That's what I see.
Yeah, that's this. You know what, Stare? That's a distinct lack of confidence in this show.
They're putting a trailer within their own show.
Yeah. A distinct lack of confidence in this show that has to be extremely cheaply made.
Yeah.
It's one house.
I feel like it would be very easy to market in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, it's right there in the title. You get what you paid for. Anyway, my thought when we saw this bee, which is where we cut, it should have been the bee from the Bee Movie.
No?
It shouldn't
have been. That bee would be hitting on Rowan Atkinson's daughter's character, and that wouldn't be cool at all.
That's true. Hey, that's a cute... How old is she? Old enough for a bee?
Wait, hold on. There's only 15 episodes of Mr. Bean.
Is that true?
British people, yes.
Are they counting the numerous specials I'm sure he's done and movies and whatnot?
Well, there's two Mr. Bean movies, the one from the 90s and then Mr. Bean's Holiday from 2007.
But only 15 Mr. Bean episodes.
That's
the problem right there.
Yeah.
That's the problem right there, is that you need... Why do this? Just do more Mr. Bean.
Yeah. I don't think this show gains anything from not being Mr. Bean.
If anything, it takes away. Because him talking adds nothing to this.
Yeah, and that's why everyone hated the original Mr. Bean movie, by the way.
He talked in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I would hate that. Yeah, because, listen, it's not that I don't want to hear Rowan Atkinson talk, okay? I'm sure he's obviously very good at talking. I've watched Blackadder.
Noted good talker.
He talks a lot in Blackadder. But Mr. Bean, and this style of comedy that he does, and which is he is beaning around in this show.
He's beaning it up.
Yes, that's right. He's beaning up the back walls of this show, and it's Mr. Bean. All you need to do is just have him not talk and call it Bean versus Bee. And there you go.
I wonder who has the rights to Mr. Bean right now.
Netflix would not have lost almost 1 million subscribers if it was called Bean versus Bee.
Yeah.
You can't prove me. You can't tell me any different. Can't prove me.
Oh my God, Swanson, look at the poster for the Mr. Bean movie.
Wow, that is deranged.
We used to be a real country.
Yeah, and Mr. Bean did, of course, debut first in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is back when we had values. You can tell it. You can see it.
Okay, so there's way too much going on plot-wise for this show about a man being tormented by a bee.
Yeah. Also, another thing they never discuss, is he allergic to bees?
That'd be interesting. That'd be a good plot. I feel like that'd be a good addition to the format, because then he couldn't just, like, kill the bee.
Right.
He'd be afraid of being stung.
He'd be afraid of being stung, and also it would explain why he is so adamant about getting rid of this bee. Just open a window.
Yeah, like have a scene where he's got his atropine injector and he accidentally drops it down a storm drain. He's like, oh.
Yes. Like he's walking his way up to the mansion.
Like this very high hill.
Yes. So we get introduced to this rich couple who, I guess, despite being obscenely rich, can't afford a house sitter. Like, they don't know anybody who would watch their house, and they can't hire someone to do it, so they hire a service who sends in their least qualified guy to do it, and it is Rowan Atkinson as
there's
Trevor.
A regular guy they mentioned, but he's sick or something.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. They have a guy that they usually go through, so that's why they do this. Yeah, Trevor Bingley is his full name according to the titles. Trevor's like, listen, this is my first time doing this, but he doesn't mention that until they leave. So good work. But they give him the rundown. Essentially, they're like, here's all the comedic premises that can happen in our house.
That's good. Just give us a list of the jokes before they happen.
Yeah, pretty much. They're like, here's the 2 rooms that you'll mainly be operating in for these 9 episodes. And this is...
we can't afford anything else.
Yeah, we can't afford to show you the upstairs. So
Uncle Jesse's there, or whoever the guy in Full House was that disappeared.
There's a guy in Full House who disappeared?
Yeah, wasn't there like a guy from the first season?
That's Family Matters.
Close enough.
One of the they had a sister that just like never showed up again. I think someone who's more knowledgeable maybe has more knowledgeable in TGIF sitcoms.
I think Full House had one of those guys who just wandered off, like maybe John's friend from Garfield.
Oh yeah, well that guy got killed by Garfield, I bet.
No, like in the cartoon, it's revealed that he became like a cryptid hunter, I think, or something.
Oh, all right, good on him. He's out hunting the Mothman.
Yeah,
so
famously South American.
Well, yeah, the Mothman of South America. There's multiple. So yeah, they're like, hey, yeah, this dog is very friendly, and the dog's like sucking this dude off.
Oh, what?
I don't know. This dog is like licking his lap for a very long time. It's just a mild joke, is what I'm getting at. It's not. I'm not. This man is not actually being sucked off by.
Of course, the dog has bizarre dietary restrictions.
Yes. Yeah. Well, because there's nothing funnier, Stare,
than a dog shitting itself.
Than a dog shitting. And I do applaud this show's restraint for waiting until episode 3 before we get to the dog farts.
Well, it's not very wet, so maybe he did leave something on the floor.
Yeah, that's possible. And so this bee starts buzzing around. And Rowan Atkinson, Trevor, the thing about there's too much going on here is he has like a whole family that we have to deal with.
He's a divorced dad.
Like, why do we need this? Just have him be a random dude.
We don't need the fucking disaster movie setup where he's trying to get it back with his ex-wife.
He's a guy. He's divorced he's divorced, and also he's unable to get a job. So he found this one, I guess.
Well, in this economy?
It's true. I guess if it's anything like taxi drivers in England, then they probably are in desperate need of house sitters.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you think there's like a strike maybe with house sitters and he's crossing the lines?
Oh yeah.
He's crossing the picket lines?
That's going to come up on a later episode that the strikers find out.
Yeah, and they like go to the house and they demand him to come out.
And he's like trying to keep him out and he just causes more damage than if he had just let them in to beat him up.
Pretty much, which is what he does for most of this, yeah. And we get one of our first shots of B POV in this show. The B cam is on the loose.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's essentially every now and again we'll just see something from the point of view of a bee, I guess. You think that's what bees actually see?
Yes. Let's look at pictures of bees and determine if their eyes would work like that.
Okay.
Okay.
While you're looking up pictures of bees, I think this is a good time to share my theory. And my theory mainly stems from the bee POV shots. Uh-huh. And also sort of the bee's menacing nature in general. I think this is one of those robo-bees.
The government is gang-stalking Mr. Bean?
Not him. I think they're just trying to there's something in the house that they want to take like a look at. And he keeps like messing with them. So they in turn mess with him.
What horrible crimes would this family be doing that the government is using bee robots to spy on them while they're out?
I don't know. They could be anything. They could be spies. They could be They could be hanging out with a foreign government that they don't like. Anyway, that's my theory, and I'm sticking to it because I'm probably not going to watch any more of this show. Spoilers.
Yeah. I just want to point out how funny it is when he goes to cook. There's a fucking can labeled peas and ham.
And that's what he cooks.
Quintessentially British meal.
It's the grossest soup I've ever seen in my life. It looks like baby diarrhea.
Yes! Like, that's why we don't see the dog shit, because it wouldn't be as gross as that, as what we already saw. There's no point. Yeah.
Because they do make a point of showing you how gross this soup is.
Yeah.
So
also not green at all, despite having peas in it.
That's the troubling part. And also, where's the ham? Because it is just a soup with no bits.
Yeah.
It's like a paste. He's cooking paste. Anyway, what most of this first episode is not man versus bee, but man versus dog.
Yeah, this dog is a problem, but he means well. He's just doing his thing.
Because the dog does try to get the bee.
Yeah, and causes a lot of collateral damage as a part.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing, really, is that a lot of what happens is not even the fault of the bee. This is really... It's a real sort of a deep work when you think about it, because it's man versus bee, but really, it's man versus man. It is man versus himself.
I would argue the bee is a force for evil at the end of that third episode.
Oh, I think in this first episode, though, this bee is, like, barely doing anything.
Yeah.
Because the reason the dog gets into that room at all is because of Mr. Bean. And Mr. Not Bean.
Yeah.
Mr. Has Bean. How about that?
That's kind of mean.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, should we talk about how Rowan Atkinson said that cancel culture is a real thing and that?
Oh no!
He said that.
Watch out, woke moralists.
Said something about all comedy has a victim or something.
Oh yeah, but you're supposed to be punching up, not down.
Yes. Yeah. So this dog is chasing this bee. Or first he puts a cup on the bee, and this bee, another good supporting theory, supporting of my theory, I mean, the bee moves the cup.
Well, it's not a glass, it's a cup made out of plastic.
I don't think I still don't know if a bee could do that.
If it's pissed, maybe.
I guess, yeah. If it's like, if it really,
it's got proportional strength.
Yeah, I mean, could it do it at the speed that this bee does it?
Maybe the bee just took a real long time and it was editing. It made it seem fast.
Yeah, and the soup also takes.
Like I can't imagine this guy's good at cooking.
That's true. He doesn't know how to cook soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rowan Atkinson says that cancel culture is hurting comedy.
Oh, boo.
Because comedy's job is to offend.
I thought it was to make people laugh.
No, you gotta be offensive there. In a proper free society, you should be allowed to make jokes about absolutely anything. Which is correct because no one is stopping him from making these jokes.
What are the jokes that he wants to make? Specifically,
I think
that people
does he
aren't
want to wear
him?
like blackface?
Well, I think he's earned the right.
Every joke has a victim. That's the definition of a joke. Which, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that. Not. I don't think so. But do you? You do you, Mr. Bean.
Someone. Yeah.
Anyway, yes, Mr. Bean is. Rowan Atkinson is attacking this bee, and this bee gets out and gets into the room that this dog shall not enter, and the dog does enter. And then the door closes, and Mr. Bean has to think of the password the needlessly complicated password.
Yeah, for some reason the rooms within the house are locked from each other.
Yeah, what's the point of doing that?
I feel like it's like this house is going to experience some weird, mysterious murder, and the detective's going to have to figure out how the person got in there to kill the victim.
Yeah,
later.
like it's like a Poirot meets Columbo.
Yeah, meets Mr. Bean.
Meets Mr. Bean. Yeah. One last question, Mr. Bean. One last question.
Well, Columbo doesn't do locked room mysteries because you know how they do it at the start of the episode.
It's true, and also I don't know if Columbo could be in a locked room with people without.
Yeah.
I feel like he would solve locked room mysteries really quickly.
Yeah.
Because like his whole thing is just piecing it together by asking enough questions. Mm-hmm. Which I guess is how detectives do it, but he I don't know. I feel like it would just doesn't work for Columbo.
Yeah.
But you never know.
Oh. You know that opening scene with him in court gave me an idea. Instead of doing the show, they should have done a Mr. Bean fictional true crime documentary where they're where Mr. Bean's framed for murder.
Oh, okay.
They're trying to piece through whether or not he did it. And there's all these. They're just they're flashing back to all his wacky antics of him knocking shit over.
A murder most Bean.
If he did it on purpose or not.
Yeah.
I like the clips of him in court. He's like, oh,
that'd be good. And the
Mr.
judges,
Bean
of course,
was quickly charged with contempt of court for refusing to answer the judge's questions.
And
at the end, it's revealed that he just tripped.
Mr. Bean's lawyer, of course, is Saul Goodman.
Yeah. Well, no, there wouldn't be any drama. He would get him off so easy if it.
That's true. Yeah.
Listen,
my client can't even speak.
You need to have a public defender who's clearly got better things to do.
Yeah. So Mr. Bean does try to get in there, and he's unsuccessful. And because everything is needlessly complicated in the house for comedic purposes. Yeah. All of the doors lock. You need to hand all of the drawers are hand motion, which again, they have to be the husband has to work for some sort of tech startup or something to have all these dumb fucking things in his house that seem like smart inventions and then just add more time to your day.
I think rich people are just depraved and bored.
And they just have to think of the dumbest possible. What if our house had no drawers that you could open by hand? What if you had to wave to open everything? What if our maid's room had a constantly running washing machine?
What if you could only open doors by asking in sign language?
What if our alarm system sounded even if somebody was in the house already and it knew? We'll get back to that part. But yeah, so the episode ends with isn't it? It ends with him trying to get into the door,
setting
right?
off the security alarm. And just screaming
that's right.
at it.
Yeah.
You can't remember the code because it's the year of some famous battle.
Yeah, that's right. And then we get our second episode, and the next two episodes are Quibi sized.
Yes.
Quibi. They're
Thankfully, because it's already the welcome was already wearing thin.
Yeah, the necessary beans were not the beanness of it all was becoming.
The beans were rotten.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. So I decided to look at the development of this real quick. Apparently, the original working title was House Sitter. I would argue Man vs. Bee is a better title.
Probably.
And Atkinson wanted the process, described the process as creating a story roughly the length of a movie and then editing it to 10 episodes.
Oh my fucking god.
Just make the movie.
Yeah, make a movie titled Man vs. Bee. And put it on Netflix. You'll make the same amount of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Zero.
So it was originally designed for a different network, but they rejected it, and then it was offered to Netflix, and Netflix, of course, said, sure. The series was inspired by a segment of Mr. Bean.
Oh, my...
He described his character as much nicer than Mr. Bean, much sweeter, and more normal person. That's the problem.
I don't think Mr. Bean was notoriously mean.
I feel like Rowan Atkinson doesn't even know what Mr. Bean is like because he describes Mr. Bean as self-centered, narcissist, or anarchist.
I guess Mr. Bean does get back at people, but he's only human.
True. Yeah, very true. Would you describe Mr. Bean as an anarchist? Not on purpose.
He's in love
I don't think he
chaos.
espouses the beliefs of anarchy.
He just wants to watch the world burn.
That'd be like coming in and saying, Walter White is a socialist.
I don't think he means, political anarchy. I mean, I think he means, the absence of government entirely.
No, I guess that's true. Mr. Bean is ungovernable. So yeah, the movie, this was filmed like a movie and then edited into a show. So we get the second episode.
Why?
Yeah, makes you question.
Why do we need cliffhangers in this show about a guy
fighting a bee
everywhere?
So yeah, my question during this second episode when he's desperately trying to get, so the first part makes sense, right? He's trying to get in there. The dog's destroying everything, trying to get to the bee. He finally gets in there after everything has been thoroughly trashed.
He tried smashing a hammer. He tried smashing the glass with a hammer, but it's shatterproof, so the hammer bounces off and lands on this very rare painting.
Yeah, and it cuts down the middle. So this is where I had to ask the question, because his solution to the painting problem is that he rips off a piece under the couch.
Yes.
And then essentially paints with, what is it, tomato paste?
Yeah.
Is he forbidden from leaving the house? Why can't he just fucking go to the store and get paint?
I don't think he's allowed to leave.
Is it part of the rules of the house sitting company? You must stay at this house during the entire time. 24-hour house sitting.
I gotta imagine, yeah.
Alright, I guess.
How long is this guy supposed to be there anyways?
It's weird that I guess it's a rich person thing, man. You just need your house watched 24/7.
When he talks to his family, he mentions how they have to move it back a week, so it's gotta be a lot of days.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, because we get a scene of him go, Oh yeah, here's so that happens near the end. I was gonna say, what happened to this man's soup? The soup disappears.
The bee ate it.
It's true. Oh yeah, and the reason he couldn't get the codes are in this manual, and the manual, of course, is set on the stove because he's an idiot, so he doesn't realize that this.
Yeah, if this was Mr.
Shouldn't
Bean,
put
I'd be
paper products on a stove.
like, if this was Mr. Bean, we'd be like, of course he's leaving it on the stove.
Right.
But since it's like a guy who could speak fluent English, we're like, oh come on, man, what are you thinking?
Right, because he seems like a well-adjusted human being of some sort. Well, maybe
we don't.
mildly.
Yeah, there's no allowance for his behavior.
Yeah. If it were Mr. Bean, we would just be like, of course.
Oh,
of course
classic.
Mr. Bean would do that. Classic Bean.
I love that guy. Instead, we're just kind of annoyed at this man.
Yeah.
Do better, Mr. Bingles.
Yeah, do better, is. Trevor Bingley or whatever your name
Bingle.
is. Travis Bingle. Every night I walk the streets and I see bees.
And I see a puddle and I slip on it.
Hey, you see up there? It's my wife sleeping with a bee. The bee's fucking my wife. So he goes into the maid's room, which is where he is staying, and it is just a bed. This is like some pure like parasite shit.
Okay, question. If they've got a bedroom for the maid, why do they need a house sitter? Why can't the maid just do overtime?
Good question. But seeing this room would make me go instantly into parasite mode, where I'd be like, "Guess I'm living like a rich person for the next 2 days." Like,
yeah.
Like what? Can I not? What's how are they going to know if you go upstairs and sleep in their bed?
They'll smell sweat.
Wash the sheets.
Yeah. No, the scent of poor people can never be removed, Swanson.
That's true. They would know immediately the smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're fair stare. That's what we learned.
That's what we learned in Parasite.
It's true. So they this washing machine is always running, or did they put a load in before they left because they're psychopaths?
I think it's just stupid. It doesn't know how to use it.
Okay. Yeah, because he could just turn it off.
Yeah.
Instead, I'll put, even though there is a counter right next to me, I will put my daughter's photo on the washing machine that I did see.
I thought he was washing its own clothing at first, and then I realized that wouldn't make any sense.
No, I think it was running the moment he walks in there. But maybe he is, I don't know. But I don't know why he would immediately start washing clothes the first day he gets there.
Oh, he knew that there would be a washing machine and he didn't want to go to the laundromat.
Fair. Who does? This is when we get the conversation with his daughter, who says that no one does voicemails anymore. Which definitely feels like a line written by a 60-plus-year-old.
Yeah, it doesn't. Nobody does phone calls anymore. That's what
that would be the real.
Said.
Yes. Because obviously
this is so
voicemails
stressful.
are a thing. Anyway, he's like, "Oh, well, I guess you didn't get my voicemail then." And then his wife comes in here and she's like, "Oh, is that your fucking dad? Maddie, you talking to your fucking waste of a father?"
Yeah. Does he got that fucking teddy bear again?
Oh, so he's not coming. He wants me to change all my plans for him. Typical.
Yeah, and then we get a Homer Simpson bit where he tries to pretend the call's frozen.
Yes, and she's like, "No, I know what you're up to, Mr. Bean."
Yeah, like this should be Mr. Bean, but it's more of jerk-ass Homer.
True. Yeah, this is like season 15 Homer. This is season 11 and beyond Homer. So yeah, he sets.
This is like when Homer's in the B plot, but. So he's acting out extra hard because he has no bearing on the main plot.
Yeah, very, very true. I could see an entire B plot of Homer fighting a bee.
In a rich guy's house?
Yeah. Yeah, like Mr.
He's
Burns.
house sitting Mr. Burns?
Yeah, exactly. He's house sitting for Mr. Burns. Is this an actual episode of The Simpsons? I bet you it is.
It writes itself.
Hey, that's why it's lasted so long. At this point, it might write itself. Anyway, yeah, so he sets the house to night mode, which I guess means that if any door opens at any point, the alarm goes off. I don't...
Like, what if you need to get a glass of water?
Who made this house? Who agreed to these terms?
Someone who was afraid of ghosts.
Like, so if one of them wakes up in the middle of the night and needs to, like, go to the bathroom, they have to deactivate the house?
Yeah, since it's British, they probably don't have a washroom connected to their bedroom.
Yeah, very improper. I don't know. It's
I think
this show is.
I think these couples arms dealers, and they're afraid of the ghosts of their victims coming to haunt them, and that's why they got the security system.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why the Robo Bee is here.
Oh.
So this third episode, which is the worst of the three that we watched,
so far, for all we know, it could get worse.
It probably does, but of the three that we watched, this was the worst one. So he wakes up in the morning and he sees the bee, and he's like, "This damn bee." The bee crawls up his pant leg, and then he has to have a conversation with a police officer while the bee's in his pants.
Yeah, I was like, "What's going on with this bee that's causing this reaction?"
The only
Is it trying to crawl up his cock?
Apparently, because at one point he makes it look like he's masturbating. And the cop is like, "Oh." Like, the cop is not angry.
Like,
the cop's like, and the cop's like, "Listen, there's a security thing." And of course, because because it's a comedy, this man can't just say, "Oh, I'm the house sitter." He has to be like, "No, they're not out of town. I'm here.
Well,
I'm here now."
He's trying to avoid bee sounding, so his brain is preoccupied and can't form proper sentences.
Yeah. This is the story of a man who can only focus on one task at a time.
Yeah.
And that task for most of the show is to kill a bee.
And also, why did the cops take so long to show up to this rich person's house alarm?
Yeah, they should have been there instantly.
That should
it's
have
not like he was in the
helicopter.
ghetto.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have shown up with they would have shown up with a helicopter and made sure that no one was on the premise.
They'd have like the armed police, the guy from Bodyguards there.
Yeah. We just need to look inside the house, Mom. So yeah, the dog ends up eating some peanut butter while he's busy with this bee, and then of course we get farting dog humor. Where does farting dog humor rate on the low rung of comedy?
I would say probably like the same rung as Adam Sandler.
Yeah, they're about the same.
Maybe
Adam Sandler's
David
definitely done.
Spader.
Yeah. True. Adam Sandler's definitely done farting dog stuff, I think.
Yeah, but not that often. Luckily.
True. Yeah, it's mainly him doing the farting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of farting dog humor this week. He finally does manage to trap the bee in the microwave. And then he can't go... Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He has a bit of consciousness. He's like, "Oh, I can't microwave this living creature to death." So he picks up the entire microwave and goes outside.
So his solution, okay, we gotta break this down because it's just so wild. So he has spent a day, half the house is demolished to the point where like it's instantly recognizable that something has happened.
We didn't mention the stone idol he broke trying to get the bee.
Oh yeah, that's like the first thing he breaks, and he spends a lot of time gluing the head back on and trying to, yeah.
Lots of multiple gags. At least 5 gags around that.
So he takes the bee out he takes the microwave out completely of the area where it's in, and then takes it outside and is like, "Bee free, bee." And this is again another strong support for my theory that this bee is a robo bee, because it makes a bee line to the house.
My theory is that the
It's like, actually, I know where I belong, and it's this house.
I think the bee's in the wrong here for not accepting Mr. Bean's mercy.
It's true, because now it means that he must murder the bee. But of course he's locked outside the house. Oh yeah, and he staples his pants shut because he thinks the bee's still in it, and then it gets out through his butthole. It gets out through the butthole of his pants.
So he's running around pantsless, and now he's trapped outside with no pants on.
That's comedy gold.
And also the gardener is walking around with a flamethrower for some reason.
Yeah, what gardening tool? What gardening do you use the flamethrower for? Usually
you use flamethrowers to get rid of like snow.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get rid of ice.
Yeah.
Huh. What? Because he seems to just be using it on bushes. I don't know.
Maybe this is like all a dream.
Oh, yeah. Like it's his dying dream.
Yeah, it feels kind of David Lynchian. The gardener with a flamethrower.
It would be, yeah, that would just be something that just happens in a David Lynch movie.
Like, he's going to get a video call from his wife, his ex-wife, and she's going to be like, "It is happening again." Alright, so yeah, final thoughts?
It was bad.
It was not good. At first I was like, "Oh boy, Mr. Bean!" And I was like, "Oh, Mr. Bean."
Yeah, this was less Mr. Bean, and what was the name of that? Didn't he do like a secret spy character?
Johnny English.
Yeah, this is less Mr.
Like
Bean.
Johnny
and,
English.
Yeah, this is Johnny English tier. They can't all be Bean.
Yeah.
And yeah, it wasn't for me, man. That's not good. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a big old tune out.
More like Mr. D minus.
That's right, Mr. Bad Show. Anyway, that's a tune out for Man vs. Bee, and I don't know
that's
about
a tune in for Mr. Bean.
Yeah, go watch that
instead. Only has 15 episodes in existence, and one of which is a clip show.
Oh wow, that feels like a ripoff.
Yeah. Oh, it's like direct to VHS.
Bean's Best Hits.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Bean's Best Clip. Bits or something.
Beautiful. Roll that beautiful Bean footage.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that is about it for this week's episode of the show. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that if you like what you hear and you think, wow, I wish they could talk about something that I want them to talk about, well, it's possible. All you gotta do is go over to buymeacoffee.com/TVTuners.
Mm-hmm.
A single coffee will get you a single episode of the show that you can request anything for us to discuss. For instance, right now
Mr. Bean.
Yeah, you could do Mr. Bean. It's true. An hour of anything, really, is what we'll do. So, for instance, right now we're going through the first 3 episodes of Dexter, which we'll hopefully be getting back to shortly. And yeah, anything your heart desires, really, within reason. Obviously, we're not going to watch like a snuff film, unless it's really good.
I don't think so.
What? Unless it's really good. If someone tells me this is very artistically made, maybe we'll give it a whirl. And also, it has to be like something I can
the best you'll get from
find
Sorry.
easily. Anyway, that's about it for this week's episode of the show. Until next week, keep being yourself. Bye.
Bye.
It's over.
I found him. Hey folks, it's time for the TV Tuners Fact of the Week. Did you know that Stairmaster has a long-standing feud with a guy driving a 3-wheeled Martin Reliant?